UFC 182. What a heel. He's doing a DX croc chop to finish it off. Jon Jones can now go on to main event WrestleMania 31. Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. UFC 182 really did stand up and deliver. Basically, this was an awesome all-out dogfight. Just the way they called it all at the beginning. They're going to the decision right now. This one went 5 rounds. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do. In my predictions, I honestly thought that Jon Jones was going to knock him out in 3, but it didn't happen. This one ended up going 5. Right at the very end of this fight, Jon Jones threw his hands up in victory, and right as Daniel Cormier backed off for just a little bit right before, Jon Jones threw that one last punch. 100% legal. The fight was still going, but the guy had put his guard down, and it wasn't going on. The guy had put his guard down because Jon Jones basically dropped his, put his hands up, and basically saying the fight was over. Jon Jones, the biggest heel in the UFC. Honestly, during this fight, Jon Jones sort of looked like he respected Daniel Cormier for getting into the octagon with him and really, stepping up to the fight. There was a point during the fight when the fight got stopped, basically with an eye poke. And basically, when they came out, Jon Jones stuck his hand out there as a goodwill of sportsmanship, and I think that it really was taken right. But at the end, you really can see that both of these guys don't like each other. Jon Jones getting the win, now held up. He's all pumped up, fired up, throwing the punches around in the ring. A winner by unanimous decision here. The fight came in. Jon Jones had the 12-inch reach advantage. That was probably the biggest thing. He's bigger than Cormier. He's got longer legs to kick him with. He's got longer arms to punch the guy with. It came right out in the first round. Jon Jones took Cormier down. Cormier, the past collegiate wrestler, basically had never been taken down inside of his career. Jon Jones had only been taken down once in his. When Cormier went down, the commentators were saying, watch the knee, because Cormier's knee sort of got caught up on the takedown a little bit. But Cormier came out. He wasn't scared. He brought the fight right to Jones. When they got into the corner after round 1, both of these guys were bloody, and they had to get, both of them had to get cleaned up. It looked like Jon Jones, the commentator said, had taken round 1, and they basically they needed to come out swinging in the second, and that's just what they did. Basically Cormier came out throwing combos. These guys were dead even on strikes through 2, and there basically was a spot where Jon Jones was holding Cormier up against the cage, and then you could see these guys talking trash to each other back and forth during the fight as it was still going down. There was a spot basically where I thought Jon Jones had choked Cormier out against the cage. Cormier just looked out of it. You can see that his body started to slump because he was losing oxygen about what was going down. But this one was a dogfight. As soon as they got off the cage, there was lots of holding, but I mean there were still lots of body shots that were being traded around. These guys were just trying to knock each other out with everything they could do early on in the fights, and then they got to the spot where basically Jones got the eye poke. In UFC, you're allowed to come out with your hands up to try and judge how far off the guy is from you, so you can line up that next shot that's coming out. But Jones was coming into you. If you were 3D, I'm poking you in the eye right now. That stopped the fight a little bit, and right after that, Cormier was able to finally take Jones down. It was just for a second. But basically then to go from there, the third, I can't remember if the eye poke was in the 3rd round or if it wasn't, but Jones took Cormier down in the 4th. Right after they got right back up, Jones took Cormier down to the ground for the second time. The second time you could tell that it really took a lot out of him. There was 3 takedowns all in all in the 4th round. And it really showed you that Jon Jones was basically getting stronger as this fight was going on. As the 4th round ended and they went into the corner, Cormier, he looked beat. He went into the corner, he was shaking his head, and just didn't look like I don't want to say he didn't want to come out for that 5th round, but it just didn't look like he had it and didn't look like he wanted to go out there again. Cormier came out for that 5th round. He wanted to wrestle Jones. Everybody said that, with him being the past Olympic wrestler, that he would be able to take him. Jon Jones has an Olympic wrestling background as well. Even though it was in junior college and it wasn't like at an NCAA college like Cormier was, he did have the background. He won the championship as a freshman. Both of these guys were fighting for it all. Both of them had 10 win streaks going on the line in this fight, and it was all coming down to this 5th round. Cormier knew that he had to get the win in this round. It wasn't going to be him. Jon Jones has got the best of him throughout the last ones, and Cormier tried so hard to get that takedown, and finally, finally, with about a minute left to go in the 5th round, Cormier was able to pick Jon Jones up and drop him down. But it took a lot out of him in order to get Jon Jones up and take him down. And right after the takedown, Jon Jones pumped right up and got into control. And basically we saw them sort of, hugging it out for a little bit. And then with about 5 seconds left, you saw, Jon Jones sort of throw up his arms in victory, even though Cormier was holding on to him, just saying that he was the winner. Cormier, took off the hold and was sort of walking back to his corner almost in defeat. And you see Jones just come with that cheap shot right at him out of the corner. Jon Jones getting the win here. I think everybody's going to walk away with this, much like an old school pay-per-view. Basically, the main event was great. The undercard really wasn't anything spectacular, but I think everybody got their money's worth. Even if it was $65. For the main one, of course, we're going to have to come back for the McGregor fight, which is somewhere around the 18th. And then you also got Silva versus Diaz, January 31st. There's that's the build one, the big one that they're really building up as hopefully the next real big show that is going to get a lot of buys. Everybody's a fan of the Diaz brothers. Silva's got a great past in UFC. So, throw them up. Let's get ready. UFC, January 31st. I can't remember the fight of the McGregor fight, but that's the next one that I'm really pumped up for. McGregor's probably my favorite fighter in the UFC, and I would love to see him get another win.